is an indispensable ally, but it's also clear that our relations are not as good as they used to be. In every alliance, there are moments of open disagreement, but Europe will not junk 80 years of transatlantic relations.
This is my video update on this Tuesday afternoon, January the 13th, coming to you from Limasal, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Nutcracker House. Let's start things off with the Nutcracker House here in Limasal, Cyprus. Let's start things off with the Oreshnik strike that happened a couple of days ago. And we have a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, which has, let's go this way, which has identified the target of the Oreshnik strike. It was not a gas facility. It was not the gas storage facility. It was actually the Lvov State Aviation Repair Plant is what it was, where they repair airplanes like the NATO F-16s and MiGs and stuff like that, as well as a drone repair plant. So that was the target of the Oreshnik strike. I believe Ukraine officials are also confirming that this was the target of the Oreshnik. So what was NATO's reaction to this? What was CEO Mark Rutte's reaction to the Oreshnik strike? He's not impressed. Rutte is not impressed with Russia's Oreshnik strike into Lviv, hitting this aviation repair plant. There are some rumors, and these are just rumors, which claim that this was more than an aviation repair plant and actually acted as some sort of a NATO command center or something like that, because allegedly before the Oreshnik strike, a couple of days before the Oreshnik, there were British military commanders and British officials at this location, but these are just rumors. So NATO CEO, in a statement, said that this was a warning from Putin to back off of Project Ukraine, but Rutte said that NATO is not going to back off from their support of Project Ukraine. Rutte not impressed at all. All right, that's the Oreshnik. The UK is escalating big time against Russia. They are going to start seizing Russian ships. What do you think? Limasal Beach Cat. What do you think about the UK escalation? They are going to start seizing Russian ships. This is what the BBC is reporting, and allegedly the UK government, they found some sort of loophole or something in with UK law, international law, and UK law, which will allow them to legally, for the UK to legally seize Russian ships and Russian oil tankers. They are very emboldened, the UK, emboldened from from the help that they provided the Trump administration to take over. The old empty tanker known as the Marinera, also known as the Bella One. The UK is very emboldened because they provided the assist to the Trump administration as it was chasing down this oil tanker for a couple of weeks, and finally they seized this oil tanker off the coast of Scotland, I believe. So now Britain is going to start seizing Russian tankers. I wonder how all of that is going to work out. They're not afraid. NATO's not afraid. The UK's not afraid. Even an Oreshnik strike was an Oreshnik strike with restraint. So the other thing that the UK is doing is they are developing a long-range missile, which should be ready in about 1 year. And this missile is being developed for the Zelensky regime so that they can strike deep into Russian territory, pre-2014 Russian territory. UK plans new missiles for Ukraine capable of striking deep inside Russia. Britain is developing new tactical ballistic missiles with a range of more than 500 kilometers. The Defense Ministry in London has announced a secure Europe needs a strong Ukraine. These new long-range British missiles will keep Ukraine in the fight and give Russian President Vladimir Putin another thing to worry about, UK Defense Procurement Minister Luke Pollard stated, as quoted by the ministry. Seizing Russian ships, about to seize Russian ships, about to develop a long-range missile so that they can strike deep into Russia. According to the Ministry of Defense, this missile will be ready in a year, and they will be able to pump out about 10 missiles, I believe a month is what they claim. So there was a missile strike yesterday in Kiev, and we have more blackouts in Kiev as well. Russia used Iskander missiles and drones, and they hit energy infrastructure, causing more blackouts throughout Kiev. And the European Union, according to Euroactiv, on February 24th, they will announce the 20th sanctions package. I thought they were already on the 20th. I thought we're on the 21st. Why was I thinking that Europe was on the 21st? We're getting reports that they're going to announce the 20th sanctions package on February 24th. Finland and Sweden are calling on the European Commission as part of the 20th package of sanctions to ban the export of luxury goods to Russia and the servicing of Russian oil tankers. Euroactiv citing an unnamed diplomat. So they're going to go after more tankers, more of the shadow fleet, ships that are not insured by London, and they are also going to now ban luxury goods to Russia. I thought these were already banned. Merz is in India, and he is using his excellent diplomatic skills, his charisma, the Merz, the BlackRock Merz charisma. He is using it to convince India to ditch Russia. And Merz is very charming. He is very charming, and I imagine that his charm is going to work wonders in India. It's going to be very effective, the Merz, the BlackRock Merz charm. It just might do the trick of pulling India away from their historic friend and ally, Russia. and even moving India away from BRICS. Merz, the secret weapon for the collective West to finally pull India out of BRICS and against Russia. BlackRock Merz. He's very upset that India is purchasing weapons from Russia and developing weapons with the Russian military. He says that India should be buying weapons from the collective West, from Germany, and developing weapons with the collective West and with Germany. Tough decision for India. Who do you choose? Russia or Germany? The deindustrialized Germany. Who do you choose? Vladimir Putin or the very charming, very charismatic, extremely popular, perhaps the most popular leader in all of history, BlackRock Merz? It's a tough choice for India to make. Very tough choice. Merz also said in a statement that on Iran, that the Iranian government has lost its legitimacy. He is now in full support of regime change. He said that Germany will do whatever it can to help the protesters and to achieve some sort of a regime change in Iran. And Merz saying that the Iranian government is unpopular and has lost its legitimacy. What is Merz's approval rating? 17%, 15%. But it's the Iranian government that has lost its legitimacy, not the Merz government, sitting at 17% popularity. And I'm being generous. I would venture to guess that Merz's popularity is probably around the 10% mark. But nope, it is the Iranian regime that has lost its legitimacy. And that brings us to the big news story, which is Iran. And U.S. President Trump, he decided to post on Truth Social about Iran. And unfortunately, with Trump's post on Truth Social on Iran, the globalists and the neocons, they came out in full force, pushing for a conflict with Iran, pushing for the Trump administration to strike Iran. Strike Iran now. That is what Lindsey Graham said after the Truth Social post. That is what Senator John Cornyn also said. Lindsey Graham, hit Iran now, hit them hard. Senator John Cornyn, target Tehran. Tucker Carlson's response to both of these senators, effing lunatics. That was Tucker Carlson's response. You know who else started to call for military action against Iran? The Green Goblin. That's right, the Green Goblin. He posted on X, what is happening in Iran now? Large-scale protests, effectively an uprising, is a clear sign that things won't get easier for Russia. And every decent person on this planet truly wants the people of Iran to finally free themselves from the current regime that has brought so much evil to Ukraine and to other countries. It is crucial that the world does not miss the moment when changes are possible. Every leader, every country, and international organizations must step in now and help the people remove those guilty of what Iran has sadly become. Everything can be different. That is the message from Zelensky. Everything can be different. He's very upset with Iran because at the beginning of the special military operation, it was Iran that allegedly, that did provide Russia with many drones and a lot of the engineering and the drone technology. And after Russia got the drone help from Iran, they started mass producing drones, and now they are one of the leaders in producing military drones. They have surpassed Ukraine and the entirety of the collective West when it comes to drones, military drones. So Zelensky is pushing for regime change. Lindsey Graham is pushing for military action. Democrats, Republicans, they're all united in some sort of a U.S. strike into Iran. Strike now, because the Iranian government appears to have gotten on top of the protests. They even announced that within a day or two, internet will be restored. And they also announced that, I believe today, some phone lines, phone access to Iran will be restored as well, international phone access to Iran. So that was reported by the Iranian government. But hey, my friend, but let me read you Trump's post on X. Let me read you what, on Truth Social, and it's now on X, but let me read you what Trump said with regards to Iran. This is going to cause big problems with China and the trade truce that Trump has with China. Trump posted, effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. The order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And according to Bloomberg, this risks imploding the China trade truce. And Bloomberg is right. We had to go through what? Two negotiations between the United States and China over the first year of the Trump administration. Negotiations which saw the Trump administration fold to Xi Jinping and to China because of the rare earth leverage and monopoly that China has over the United States. Rare earths that are used by the U.S. military to produce weapons. And now Trump is willing to risk all of that so that he can place a 25% tariff on China, which is the country that trades the most with Iran. China's not going to give up their trade with Iran. Trump is saying 25% tariffs. If Trump holds firm on that statement, that would mean that we're going to enter another trade war between the United States and China. You want some food? You want some food? Let's see what I've got for this guy. So, do you think Trump is serious or do you think he is bluffing? I think he's serious. That's my guess. I don't think he's thought this through. Obsessed with regime change in Iran. That's what we have going on here. An obsession for regime change. Because the neocons, they sense that they may have an opportunity to get the regime change. And you know, the Trump administration, come here. Come here. And the Trump administration, my sense is that they're going to use some trickery or something to go after Iran. Something creative. That's what they're going to do. Something creative. Like what they did with Maduro, or some sort of decapitation strike or something like that. That's what they're going to do. Let me try to help this guy out. There you go. That's better. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do well, they might do airstrikes. They might do airstrikes. Carolyn Levitt said as much, that airstrikes on Iran are against Iran are on the table. But something tells me they're going to do some sort of some sort of decapitation or something. I don't know. I don't know what. Oh, crap. Oh, man. I did not see that. All right. Yeah, there are analysts that are saying that Trump is going to do some sort of decapitation operation or something. Trump, the United States, Israel. They're cooking up something. Anyway, enough of that. We'll find out what he's up to. It is a foreign policy of trickery and misdirection. But no doubt about it, they want regime change. Trump also said that he's open to diplomacy. And the Iranian foreign minister, Arakchi, he gave an interview to Al Jazeera, and he said that Iran is ready for conflict, and they're much stronger than when they were during the 12-day war. But he also stressed that Iran is absolutely ready for diplomacy. Actually said that, I believe he said that he's still in communication with Witkoff. We do not seek war, but we are prepared for war, and we are even more prepared than the previous 12-day war, Arakchi told a meeting of foreign diplomats in Tehran. We are also prepared for negotiations, but negotiations that are fair, honorable, and from an equal position, with mutual respect and based on mutual interests, he said, adding that the talks must be in good faith and not orders and dictations. I believe in the interview with Al Jazeera, he talked about the ongoing communication with Witkoff, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the situation with Iran. A lot of the neocons and globalists, all of the neocons and globalists are pushing for conflict. Even the Green Goblin is pushing for regime change. Even the Green Goblin. And BlackRock Merz is pushing for regime change. And the EU is on board with all of this as well. I talked about Ursula's post on X the other day, where she got on board with regime change in Iran. And now we have the EU Parliament. They are banning Iranian diplomats from entering the EU Parliament or speaking at the Parliament. President Roberta Metsola steps up action against officials working for the Tehran regime after attacks on protesters across Iran. So Iranian diplomats are banned from the European Parliament. I wonder how many Iranian diplomats were hanging out at the European Parliament. I don't know. But Kaya Kallas, she is also signaling that not only are we going to get a 20th sanctions package against Russia, but her office is going to be busy with sanctions packages against Iran. So she also said that as well. Sanctions against Iran. Courtesy of Kaya Kallas. That's what she does. She does sanctions. That's what her office is all about. So should we move on to Greenland? Have we had enough of the Iran updates? I read in Axios that Trump is leaning towards a strike against Iran. He's open to talks, but he's leaning towards some sort of a strike. That's what Axios reported today. So let's move on to Greenland. And interesting how the Europeans, how the EU, how Merz, how they're really pushing for conflict with Iran. I wonder if the Europeans believe that if the United States gets into a conflict with Iran, if it strikes Iran, that they're going to forget about Greenland. I wonder if that's what they believe, or maybe they're going to buy buy some time when it comes to Greenland. Maybe they believe that if the United States takes some sort of military action against Iran or gets bogged down with some sort of military operation against Iran, that they will be able to dissuade the United States on its push to take Greenland. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're pushing so hard for military action against Iran. I'll tell you this much, it doesn't look like the Trump administration is pulling back from their goal of taking Greenland. We even have a senator or a House member? Randy Fine, I believe he's in the House. Congressman Randy Fine introduced the Greenland Annexation and Statehood Act. They're even putting together a resolution, an act to legitimize in Congress the taking of Greenland, the annexation of Greenland. It's going to happen. It is going to happen, whether the EU likes it or not. They probably don't really care. They're more concerned with how this looks. I think they're more concerned with the optics. I don't think they really care about Greenland or the people of Greenland. What they care about is how this looks. Their number one ally, their trusted friend, their partner, just coming along and taking Greenland. That's not going to look good for the EU or for NATO. That's what really bothers them. Merz is saying that Greenland is something that NATO should resolve. NATO, meaning the United States and the Europeans. That's who should resolve the issue of Greenland. Merz said, "We share the American concerns that this part of Denmark needs to be better protected. I hope that we will reach a mutually acceptable solution within NATO." So the narrative with Greenland has become that if the United States does not take it, Russia and China are going to take it. China issued a statement saying that this narrative is ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. Why would Russia and China take Greenland? How did this narrative get created all of a sudden? How did we get to this narrative, to this talking point, this excuse, reasoning, rationale for taking Greenland? All of a sudden, the story is that if Trump doesn't take Greenland, then Russia and China's going to take Greenland. It's so ridiculous when you take a step back and just think about it. Think about the excuse, the rationale that they're coming up with for Greenland. It's beyond dumb. It really is beyond dumb. I can't believe people are falling for this. If we don't take Greenland, Russia and China are going to take Greenland. When has Russia or China ever expressed any interest in Greenland? Ever? What does Greenland have to do with Russia and China? Especially China. I mean, man. Oh, the stuff they come up with. But that's the accepted narrative, the accepted excuse now to take Greenland. That's the pretext. We have to get it because if we don't get it, Russia and China are going to get it. Merz is going along with it. Well, of course the Europeans are going to go along with it. Right? We understand Trump. We understand his reasoning. This is how the Europeans are positioning themselves. This is how Merz is positioning himself. I understand where Trump is coming from. I really do. Because if we don't protect Greenland, then of course Russia and China are going to take Greenland. But it's a matter for NATO to deal with. That's how Merz is positioning all of this. That's going to be how the EU tries to deal with Greenland. Yeah, we understand what Trump is saying. We get it. We have to protect Greenland from China and Russia, but come on, Trump. Come on, Trump. let's sit down and talk about this. NATO, as the collective West. Why are you shutting us out, Trump? I like it. I like shutting them out. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Should we do a clown world? Or is this whole video a clown world? Seems like it. Dangerous clown world. Do I have any more news to discuss? Oh, the United States issued a warning to Americans if they find themselves in Iran to get out. Get out now. That is the warning from the United States. They don't have an embassy in Iran. They have what's being described as a virtual embassy. And they put out a message telling Americans, if you are in Iran, by any chance, if you happen to be in Iran, chilling out in Tehran or Iran, then get out. Get out right away. So that's signaling some sort of a military operation, that warning. So let's do a clown world and we can call it a day, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I got to most of the news. Let's stick with Greenland. And on Truth Social. Oh no, not on Truth Social, on the White House Twitter account. I'm getting all confused with all the social media that Trump has going on. He's got all kinds of social media running. But on the White House X account, they posted an image of the U.S. president looking out the window of the Oval Office, and he is staring into a giant Greenland, right? A giant Greenland. The White House's post says, tap to monitor the situation. It's 3-4 panels that when you tap on the panels, it's pretty much the Trump White House's takeover of Greenland. The Trump White House eyeing Greenland. So that's clown world number one. Clown world number two is courtesy of the president of Moldova, Maia Sandu, who gave an interview to the UK podcast, The Rest is Politics. I've never heard of this podcast or this TV show. I don't even know what it is. The Rest is Politics. And Maia Sandu, being the president of Moldova, she said that if there is a referendum for Moldova to become part of Romania, for Romania to annex Moldova, or for Moldova to ascend into Romania, if there's ever a referendum of this kind, then as president of Moldova, what do you think her answer should be? What do you think her answer was? Her answer should be, I'm the president of a sovereign country, and I don't think this sovereign country should become part of Moldova. This has not been brought up by the people should become part of Romania. This has not been brought up by the people for Moldova to enter Romania, at least not yet. But if there's a referendum as president of Moldova, I'm of course not going to vote for Moldova to become part of Romania because I'm the president of Moldova, right? That would be a natural response from the president of a sovereign country to make. But her response was, no, Moldova should become part of Romania. That was her response. The country is difficult to manage, and it will be easier to resist Russia, the Moldovan president told the British podcast, The Rest is Politics. It's difficult. It's just hard. It's hard to manage. So we just might as well become part of Romania. It's hard to manage. Got it? And Russia, of course, Russia. Gotta say Russia as well. So yeah, that was the president of Moldova's response to becoming part of Romania, to Romania annexing Moldova. If it is brought up in a referendum and that is the vote, then so be it. So be it. But the president should not be saying that they would vote yes. The president should not be saying that. if that's what the people vote for, if it does become an issue, and it is what the citizens want, then so be it. I'm sure the EU would support this. They would support the right, the self-determination of the people, would they not? Just like in Crimea, right? Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. The Duran.locals.com. We are on X and Rumble and Telegram. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch. The link is in the description box down below.